Have you ever wondered how the heck do herbalists get to know all of these plants? You might have heard Materia Medica, but what does that even mean? This is just a personal or a collective record of herbal knowledge and experiences. It's not just a list of herbs, it's not just herbs you're learning about. You're learning how to support your body and you're learning about yourself. To really know an herb and really become like an herbalist, you can't just know the plants. Like, you have to experience them and you have to submerge yourself into this different world and test these different things. And you're forced to learn about yourself. You're forced to learn, like, am I more dry, am I more damp, am I more uplifted, or am I more down energetically? It's really not just a list. And my teacher, Ashley Allen Bass, keeps telling, like, your apothecary is a living, breathing thing. Like, yeah, it's not actually living, there's not organisms, like, but actually there is, though, because I have plant material that was once alive. So it's like, you have to take care of it like it's living and breathing. And yourself, because we all know that if you're not taking care of yourself, then you're not going to be at highest performance because you're not tending to yourself. So why should you make a Materia Medica or something similar? Or why should you start to explore herbs? One, for yourself, for your family, or for maybe dealing with instances. I like to have, like, you build your own medicine cabinet. Over time, as you become an adult, you start to collect, like, oh, maybe a little Tylenol here. Oh, when I had a sinus headache, like, I have some severe sinus still left over from that. You'll start to build into your natural stuff. So now I have some bee propolis spray. I have some magnesium spray. I have some, like, rollers for stress and for migraines. And, like, I've just created my own little apothecary. And this is so fun to do too. I just went through my family and I was like, okay, what are our main issues? What comes up very often? What are my main issues that I want to address? And what kind of support could I use in this season too? Think about the seasons as well. I really like to look at what's growing right now. So, like, in the beginning of spring, when you start to have congestion, you'll start to see nettles and cleavers and ground ivy showing up, which can be some really great allies for those situations. And like I kind of mentioned, it's to help you keep track of, like, your subtle shifts and changes in, like, energy and outputs, in eating habits, in socialization habits. Like, when are you drawing back more? When are you more open to socializing? It's to build, like, confidence in your own, like, taking care of yourself, because there's such a disconnect with that nowadays, especially. Unfortunately, I support modern medicine, but I will say they can be quite dismissive around here and don't really educate you on what's actually going on. So herbs and learning about them and building a Materia Medica can help build your confidence in taking care of yourself and build your intuition, because I feel like that's kind of been dampened by modern medicine as well, unfortunately, because I am a lover of science and research, and I see the importance of evidence and also, like, diverse populations being studied. But I also see anecdotal evidence. I see ancestral evidence that's being just dismissed and pushed down. So we consider all of that in my channel. I can talk about this for hours, for days, for years, for months, whatever, but I think it's just great to have stuff on hand to support yourself. So like I was saying, go in your family and think, okay, I run stressed. Okay, I'm really stressed all the time. I definitely have some, like, OCD tendencies, and I can really have some, like, really negative thought patterns. So because of that, I have, like, lemon balm. Mints just are so refreshing. They're clarifying. I love the smell of them. They're so aromatic and often uplifting too. So I really, really like lemon balm as an ally. I have a tincture and I'm gonna be trying some tea soon too. But just figuring out, like, what can you have on hand to support some of your daily things. Maybe you deal with TMJ really bad. I also have that, and maybe congestion. So I just made a salve. I had oil infusing for a while, and I made a salve with some, like, cleavers and some ground ivy and beeswax, whatever. So, like, you can think about where you're at. And also, so I made that salve. It has dandelion in it. It's very, very warming. So if I'm having some aches that are maybe more sharp and burning, that might not be what I go for. Maybe I'll go for more of my mints that are gonna be cooling and stuff. So that's what I mean by getting to know the herbs and getting to know yourself, and just like, where are you at, what's gonna help you the best, and what's gonna potentially not help you great. This is your place to be creative with your education, because I don't know if you notice, oh, you can't even see it. I'm a very creative person, and I've had to do what I can. I've had to work with my methods of learning, and I don't care what other people say. So when I was going through like anatomy and physiology, you're damn right that I bought a skeleton and I brought it on a plane and I painted it, and that's how I studied my bones, because that's what works for me. So you figure out what works for you, and you don't care what other people say. So your binder is gonna look definitely different than mine, and hopefully a little nicer. Spend your time where you want to spend your time. So I actually have 3 binders that I would consider like my Materia Medica, just because they're all kind of, it's my Materia Medica but separated in different binders. So this binder is dedicated to my studies, my learning, my education, any like courses I take, anything like that goes into this binder, as long as I can fit it, because for some reason I bought a very skinny one, which is not smart. So I just purchased this little like table of contents sheet from Walmart, and in here I have, this is what this is. This is just dedicated to my learnings. I have Sanskrit translations, and here I have Ayurveda definitions and formulation. I also have a section for like traditional Chinese medicine, and just to give you an idea, hang on, I'll flip to this. So traditional Chinese medicine, well actually I'll just go with Ayurveda, okay. So I literally, it's just the terms, goes through the traditional energetics. It talks about like hot, cold, tropism, doshic, penetrating, guna, the qualities of herbs as well, and all of these just like formulations and treatment methods and stuff, because I personally like to be educated on like global, cultural, cross-cultural like medical methods. So I have my Western medicine overview and the Galenic principles, and then I have a section for the Gula, and this is just full of great stuff for me as like a practicer. If I'm researching in like Ayurvedic terminology and stuff, I'm not familiar with Ayurveda terms and Ayurvedic terminology, so I will reference this book to make sure, oh, that's what that means, oh, that's what that means, let me just make sure we're on the same page. Any materials you need, like it's nice to have a printer to be able to get images done, or access to a printer. You can of course draw your own Materia Medica, but that's going to take a lot of time. So I know that I need a printer, but of course if you don't have access to one, there's ways around that. I highly recommend a binder, like a sturdy binder, something that's at least like pretty thick, I don't know, and the screen protectors. I would say building your own Materia Medica is very, very cheap, especially because of the long-term like usage and output, how it helps you and stuff. But it's up to you what money you want to put into it. If you want to make it super cute and like paint it up and be artsy fartsy with it, that's totally fine, but you don't have to. Like I kind of did the bare minimum on these to get them started, because I just had been learning so much and I needed just a pool of all of my information on the herbs and the research that I'm doing. So that's why I did it this way, and it's kind of frustrating and confusing. Eventually I will likely change these binders around, but for right now, this is what works for me. So let's break down the process of getting to know an herb in very simple steps. Step 1 is to observe or be drawn to one. Maybe you're like me and you're drawn to the mint family, or perhaps you have roses that grow near you. Like find one plant that you're just really drawn to, interested in, and start with that. That is, you want to find one that you're interested in rather than just something that like you feel like you should learn about, because that's just how your brain works. Your brain's going to put more effort into something you're actually interested in learning about. So, and journal your first impressions. Like for me, I actually really started making this Materia Medica in the winter time, and I was going out and foraging in the winter. I did not find much, unfortunately, because I was just not seasoned enough to be doing that necessarily, but I had fun going and taking notes. Like I would go around and I'd be like, I think that's goldenrod, but I'm gonna have to see in the summertime, or I think that's motherwort, but I don't know, I can't tell right now. That's just the first step. Just observe one plant and start taking notes on it, start journaling your experience with it. Step 2 is the research phase. So I've mentioned a couple and I'll put them down below. Herbal Reality, Cloverleaf Farm, Herba Zest, I use the volumes, the herbs and supplements, medicinal supplements by Cohen Brown, I believe. These are great. They're more expensive for both volumes in a set. It's like 80 some dollars and it comes from Australia, so it's kind of pricey, but it's so worth it, especially if you're going in the medical side of things. Matthew Alp's The Midwest, the edible plants book, I'll put that down below. That's such a great resource too. I will put a ton of resources down below for you guys on what I use to research everything, and like I said, I've already mentioned a couple of things, but it's just really it's important to have good sources and resources and stuff. And I will say that Herbal Reality is probably my favorite and most used. Cloverleaf is a little bit outdated, so you want to be careful about that. Then you would have your actual experience. So maybe you're trying a tea, maybe this is experiencing the smells and the feelings and just really learning how you respond to that herb and experiencing it in different lights and in different times and seasons. So this can take a lot longer. Actually, learning how you experience an herb can be a little bit harder, especially when we have such busy lives. It's hard to sit down and be like, how is this herb affecting me? But it's so important, and it's a great like little ritual. All Materia Medica often contains the Latin name along with some common names, parts used, the energetic, and how they'll appear differently with you. So energetics could be, I think of energetics in two different ways. I think of energetics as like your energetics and how you respond to things and what you prefer, your preferences. And then I also think of energetics as like, where is the energy in the plant? Also the actions and the uses. So those will be a little different, but they'll give hints into each other. There's herbal actions. There's the Western herbal actions like anti-inflammatory, antiviral, anti-rheumatic. There's all kinds of them, and you don't have to know all of them, but those will tell you what the use is often for the plant. Then it's really important to consider safety and contraindications, especially if you are recommending anything to anybody else. You want to consider how this is possibly going to negatively affect them. Not only positively, you want to consider the negatives and anything that could potentially happen that's harmful. It's also good to consider like emotional and spiritual impressions. So like, not only where are you at right now and what do you maybe need, but also where is the plant at right now and what does the plant maybe need. And so that's kind of with seasons and seasonal. And of course a sketch or a photo I like to have. So I have this like super aesthetic picture that I pull from Herbal Reality, but then I'll also hop over to Herbazest, and that's where I can get like all of the nutrient makeup and like the chemicals in the plant and each part and stuff. And then I will often maybe draw my own, or I will do like a little doodle on whatever piece of paper I'm writing all of my detailing out on. Biggest tips for anybody wanting to make a Materia Medica or even just getting involved with herbs: don't do too much at once. It's so easy to do that. I do that. I still do that. I still struggle with it because you just get so excited about it, and then you're learning about like 6 million herbs at a time. Not 6 million, that's an exaggeration. But then you're learning about like 6 different herbs at once. You don't really know what is happening inside your body, and it's just really hard to determine like what your experience with that herb is. It's okay to be messy and a little non-linear. Like I said, mine is not the prettiest. It's not perfect. I will definitely have some adjustments to make over time, but it works for now, and you can have fun with it. Like, use watercolor, use glitter pens, paint a skeleton. Pick an herb every month and make an earring set out of it. Like, then you can learn the parts, you can have fun with it, and it doesn't have to be like something you sell, but maybe it's just a way to have fun with it. Like, I'm super into integrative and interactive learning. That's my style, and I also learn through teaching, so that's why I do what I do. But you really just need to look at yourself and look at your energy levels, look at your season of life, and figure out what works best for you. So if you ever get a little overwhelmed with all of this herbal knowledge and herbalism, start with one plant at a time. Take it one plant, one page at a time, and use your senses. I would love to hear you guys. Tell me in the comments, what herb are you drawn to the most, or what herb will you be putting in your binder first? Join us next time for more Brainy Botany, and don't forget that you are loved. Peace.